My birthday was at the end of February. How old am I, you ask? I am I don't understand TikTok years old. I am the toddler I used to babysit just graduated from college years old. I am you better hurry up and get pregnant, time's a wasting years old. I am no spicy food after 8 p.m. years old. I am back in my day years old. And best of all, I'm who gives a crap years old. I'm middle-aged. This year, the best gift I gave myself was a single word, and that word is permission. Permission to throw timidity out the window.
Meow.
Permission to stop feeling guilty about buying books.
Meow.
Permission to be myself on the internet.
Meow.
I must warn you, my jokes are not great. You may have noticed that my little filming location has had an upgrade. It's not perfect yet, still working on it, but I'm liking the direction that we're going. This came as a result of a visit from a dear friend named Sir Constructive Criticism. He's of the Yorkshire Criticisms, I believe. Anyway, I've gotten some good advice on updating my channel and improving things. One of the pieces of advice was, Jessica, Your Majesty, your videos have been informative and interesting, but I'm not sure what your brand is. At the mention of brand, my dear viewers, I did have a good chuckle. You see, I need no brand. I am the descendant of working class Irish Americans. My ancestors called to me from the deep and said, Jessica, reveal thyself as the queen you are. So here I am, queen of Castle Lovestead, nestled squarely in the prairie realm of Booklandia. The Castle Lovestead is a cozy home full of wonder, whimsy, delight, and a little bit of snark. Along with my lovely new background and coordinated head, you'll find that I've added laugh tracks because I have the kind of sense of humor I like to call plane crash humor. It doesn't always land. So now you know when to laugh and when not to. So without further ado, dear viewers, here is my bookish birthday tag. I found this book tag on Helen's channel at Helen's Bookhaven. She did it for her birthday last month, and she said that she got it from Connor at Connor's Corner Library, and I checked Connor's channel. I couldn't find the original poster, so that might be something that you dig for if you decide to do this tag yourself. That was as far as I could get with finding out who the original creator of this tag was.
Question 1. Birthday cake. A book with a plot that seems cliche, but you enjoyed anyway.
So my answer to that question would be any cozy mystery. I do enjoy a good cozy mystery, but they're pretty predictable. Someone gets murdered and an amateur sleuth figures out the mystery. And even though it's pretty cliche, I still really enjoy them. I like that cozy vibe. I like getting to read something that's entertaining and easy to read with a little bit of intrigue to help my brain continue to function.
Question 2. Party guests. Your most anticipated book release for this year.
I'm not great at following book releases, but there was a book release actually in October of 2020 that I was excited about that I have not yet been able to get my hands on. And that book is called This is a Book for People Who Love Royals, like myself, by Rebecca Stoker. Rebecca is an Instagram, and she basically is like a royal historian, an armchair royal historian, but she's got a lot of really awesome information, particularly about things like castle tiaras and the history of those tiaras. And she does such a good job of following what's happening with the current royal family. Have you seen what's going on with Harry and Meghan? So this is actually a hobby of mine that I like to engage in my spare time, which is following what's happening with other royalties because I mean, well.
Question 3. Birthday presents. A book that surprised you with how much you loved it.
Pet Sematary by Stephen King. I'm not typically a horror fan, and so I also have not been much of a fan of Stephen King. Not because he writes horror, but because of the few books I've read by him have been pretty disappointing. So I read The Shining, which I hated. Miss Moody Reader has a really good rant video about why this book is terrible, and I'll link you to that below. It basically outlines everything that I felt about the book as well. And then I have also read Insomnia, which I thought was good, but it wasn't really horror. And then I read some other one. What was it? I can't remember now, but it was like set at a lake house and it was just kind of cheesy. So I did not have high expectations going into Pet Sematary because it's hard for me to actually get scared when I read a horror book, and B, I hadn't had great experiences with Stephen King up until that point. So when I read Pet Sematary, I was very surprised by how much I liked it. I thought the book was perfect. Like, I wouldn't change a thing about that book.
Question 4, Happy Birthday Song. A book that deserved the hype.
I have two, I guess, books. One is a standalone, the other is a series of books, so more than 2 books. The first one is The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I thought that this book was going to be a flop for me based on how hyped it was, both among people that I know and on BookTube and with the film coming out. But when I read it, I thought that it was very good, really well done, very thoughtful, very touching. So The Fault in Our Stars is one that I did think lived up to the hype. The other one is a book series that I'm actually rereading right now with Helen from Helen's Book Haven, and that is the Lunar Chronicles series by Marissa Meyer. This got a lot of hype on BookTube when it originally came out, and I read it then and loved it, and now it's been probably 5 or 6 years since I read it, and now I'm rereading it with Helen as buddy reads, and I'm loving it just as much the second time around. So I do think that this series absolutely lived up to the hype.
Question 5, Happy Music. A book with some very beautiful and memorable quotes.
So I have several written down for this one. The first one is White Oleander by Janet Fitch. I thought that her writing was very lyrical, but also intelligent, and there were so many lines in there as I was reading it that made me just go, yes!
Yes!
And yeah, so that one was really good in terms of quotable material. Another one is Empire Falls by Richard Russo. This was a Pulitzer Prize winning novel and nobody ever talks about it, but it is fan-freaking-tastic. So Empire Falls is about a small mining town that is really struggling because the miners no longer have jobs and companies are going under, so on and so forth. And I guess that I personally really related to it, having grown up in a small town myself. My town was an agricultural town, but I still kind of connected to all of those pretty standard small town themes. And this book was so well written, and there is a lot of really good quotable material in that. And then the last book is A Confederacy of Dunces by John Kennedy Toole. This book is hilarious. And I don't see many booktubers talking about this one, but it has a lot of really, really good humor, and those are the things that I would quote from that book.
Question 6, Getting Older. A book you read a long time ago, but think you would enjoy more now that you are a more mature reader.
Any classic, I think, would fall into this category. I was forced to read a lot of classics as a teenager because I took a bunch of advanced literature courses in high school, and I read them and understood them enough to pass all the tests and write essays on them, but I didn't have like a genuine appreciation of them because I didn't like them. I didn't enjoy them when I read them as a teenager. And I'm finding that as I get older and as I read and reread some of those classics, I am coming to really like them and appreciate them because I am now a more mature reader.
Question 7, Sweet Birthday Memories. The book that kept you happy during a demanding or difficult time in your life.
So I won't go into detail about why this time in my life was difficult or demanding, but embarrassingly, the Twilight series got me through a really difficult time in my life. I spent a lot of time before reading these books making fun of them and talking about how dumb they were, and I hated them before I even read them. But then came across some difficulties in my life, and a good friend of mine was like, just read these books, just give them a chance. And so I like devoured all of them in a single week, and it was just such a good escape for me at that particular time in my life. Like, I just let myself be completely absorbed in the story, and I acknowledged that they were, you know, not the greatest examples of relationships, etc., but it was exactly what I needed at that time. And that's why I kind of have this weird attachment to the Twilight series, even though, like, as a reader, I don't really like them. But I just have this, like, emotional connection to them because they helped me get through something difficult. So, embarrassingly, it is the Twilight Saga by Stephanie Meyer.
Question 8, who do you tag?
So I only want to tag 2 people because they are the 2 people that I know who have had recent birthdays here on BookTube. The first is Nell from Gunpowder Fiction and Plot, and she had a birthday in February as well. Happy birthday, Nell. And then the second one is Jess from Jess Owens. She also had a birthday in February. Happy birthday, Jess. So I tagged the 2 of you to do the Bookish Birthday Tag. And that'll do it for today's video. Until next time, make sure to read good books, drink good coffee, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye.